Hi there, thanks for watching. I'm Doc Acula, and I'm playing at least 1 hour of every single game on Xbox Game Pass, then giving a quick review of each one to give you an idea if the game is worthy of your time. We'll kick things off with the PC mega hit classic, Myst. I'll actually be playing the 2021 remake released recently to Game Pass. Has Myst aged like a fine wine, or has it aged more like milk? More importantly, is it worthy of your time and hard drive space? The game opens with the player alone on an island and given no clue about where to proceed. Exploring the island, I found a lot of things that caught my attention, but I had no clue what any of it meant at first. There was a cool little planetarium room with some kind of sci-fi dentist chair, where you could put in a date and that stars would move. There was a map with a freaking laser beam mounted knob attached to it, which was awesome. There was a hidden hallway and a hidden area behind a fireplace, all in the same room. A dial that turned a clock on a tower on the other side of the water, and a spaceship that was cool looking but I couldn't get into. There were also a ton of books to flip through. Speaking of books, I was tremendously disappointed when I stumbled upon this guy, and it didn't turn out to be one of those red decoder puzzles that used to come in cereal boxes when I was a kid. That would have really been the Lisa Frank flavored icing on this 90s cake. After a fair bit of aimless wandering, a funny thing happened. Now having an idea of the layout of the island, the map with the laser kind of made sense and started to click. I realized that by turning the knob on the map, I was actually turning the tower behind the main building. It turned out this changed a plaque up in the tower to reveal 3 dates, which I could then punch into the planetarium dentist chair to reveal different constellations. I remembered that one of the books I had flipped through in the main building had a list of constellations, so I consulted that to get corresponding symbols. With these symbols in hand, I turned on a series of little TV monitor things I found matching each of the 3 constellations. Those monitors make an awesome noise, by the way. With the TV monitors turned onto the right constellations, a little toy ship in the fountain in the middle of the area rose up, letting me know I was on the right track. I triumphantly flipped the switch nearby, and nothing happened. It took me longer than I'd ever cared to admit to realize that the little toy ship represented the actual sunken ship that was literally the first thing that I saw when I loaded into the game. This series of intermingling clues was frankly awesome. It made me feel simultaneously like a genius for figuring it out and like an idiot for not seeing some of the obvious connections sooner. I was blown away with what I'd experienced so far. However, the second level revealed more of the kind of antiquated puzzle design I had feared would be typical of a game as old as Myst. There was a mechanic to raise and lower the water levels around the island. Finding the solution brought a chest up to the surface that I could then unlock with a key on a string to reveal another key that was not on a string, so I could unlock a ladder up to the roof. It was definitely a little weird, but it worked. What I didn't feel like worked was the subsequent mechanic of providing power to the island. It turned out I needed to go to a telescope located at the top of the small peak on the island and point it toward a blinking light on top of the lighthouse. Then I could make a note of the angle of the telescope. Now that I knew the angle, I could make my way down into a now powered area underneath the island, where there was a circle with a series of buttons around it. I would need to press the button corresponding to the angle of the telescope. It didn't feel at all like a natural logical connection to have to look through the telescope at the lighthouse. To make matters worse, the power from the valve on top of the lighthouse only lasted for a few minutes. Then it would power down and have to be cranked again. If you pressed the wrong button on the compass under the island, the power would again turn off, and you'd be greeted with an awful alarm sound. Anytime the power was out, you'd have to manually run all the way back to the top of the lighthouse and turn the valve again. It was punishing, to say the least. Eventually I did find the right button, and I was sent back to the main island, feeling like I got a pretty good taste of what Myst had to offer. Overall, I was extremely impressed by how advanced most of the design language felt. For the most part, I was eventually able to piece together the clues in a way that was really satisfying and felt natural, like I was discovering something that I should have been able to tell right from the start. On the other hand, you'll have to keep in mind that this game was originally released almost 30 years ago, and some of the puzzles feel a bit more obtuse and punishing than would be expected from a modern game released today. In the end, I was intrigued by my time with Myst. You should definitely give it a try if you're interested in chill exploration combined with intricate puzzles. Just remember that its old school design won't always be a cakewalk, so don't hesitate to consult a guide if you get stuck. When it comes to the rating, rather than give an arbitrary number score, I'd rather rank how likely I'd be to recommend a game over the nearly limitless other experiences available on Game Pass. With that in mind, unless you just don't like puzzle games, or you don't like games that keep things open-ended, I probably would recommend Myst to most players. Thank you so much for watching.